The Pickleball Show is brought to you by PBX Club. PBX stands for Pickleball Excellence. Join today and get the latest pickleball tips and strategies, news and opinion. Save money on paddles and other equipment with coupon codes to online pickleball retailers. Get travel discounts to tournaments and a whole lot more. How much does it cost to become a PBX Club member? Well, it's free. Just go to freepbxclub.com. That's freepbxclub.com. There's even a link in the show notes for this episode. freepbxclub.com. PBX Pickleball Excellence. Join the club. It's free.
This is Deb Harrison of picklepongdeb.com, and here's the host of the Pickleball Show, Chris Allen.
Thank you, Deb, and welcome to the show dedicated to helping you play better pickleball while having even more fun and meeting new friends who share your passion for this great sport. My name is Chris Allen. It's free gift time. We've got something free we want to give to you, and I think you're going to love it here. We've been telling you this week about PBX Club. PBX stands for Pickleball Excellence, and we're putting together the largest community of pickleball enthusiasts the world has ever seen. We've got something for you. This is called Top 10 Tips from Pickleball's 3 Greatest Coaches. This is a report consisting of the collective wisdom of Coach Mo, Deb Harrison, and Prem Karno, all together like they've never been together before in one document. This is we've had the good fortune of interviewing all 3 of those people, and they've given us so many little nuggets of wisdom along the way that we've collected them all and put them into one report for you, and it is yours for free. All you have to do is go to freepbxclub.com. That's freepbxclub.com. Don't need a credit card or anything like that, just an email address, and we will send you this report for free. The top 10 tips from Pickleball's 3 greatest coaches. And boy, there are some good ones here. I played this morning, and let me see how many of these I actually adhered to. Nope, didn't do that one. Should have done that one. Got to do better at that one. All right, there's a lot of stuff for me to work on here. If you do half of these tips, it'll definitely make you a better player and take your game to the next level. So go over to freepbxclub.com and get your copy of the top 10 tips from Pickleball's 3 greatest coaches. That's Coach Mo, Deb Harrison, Prem Karno. And thank you again to those 3 folks for sharing their wisdom with us. Now we're going to get to our panel today. We've got joining us from Portland, Maine. I've been practicing your name this week. It's Linda Einsiedler. Hey, Linda.
Very good.
There we go. I'm getting it. And from Portland, Oregon, it's Mike Hoxie. Mike, how are you today?
Very good, thank you.
Good. And joining us from Reno, Nevada, Carol Amos. Carol, how are you?
I'm great. It's so great to meet everyone.
Well, it's great to have all of you here. And today is the day I wanted to talk about equipment. You know, people are really funny about their equipment. It's got to be just right, and this one's a little bit wrong, and this one maybe has a little bit of this, but too much of that and not enough of this other thing. What about you, Carol? Do you have a paddle that you just swear by? If it's not this paddle, you're just not going to be the same player?
You know, I've been playing for 3 years, and I have my same blaster by ProLite that I got originally from Rodney Grubbs. And when I ordered the paddles, I said I want a boy and a girl color, and he sent my husband a blue one and me a purple one, and we've been using them ever since and just absolutely love them. And
that is your paddle, and nothing would feel right when you try a friend's paddle or something? It just feels wrong?
No, it just feels wrong. Mm-hmm. I haven't had to tape up the grip yet, but it's getting close. So I've been using it quite a bit and absolutely love it.
I've got my my Champion aluminum paddle is mine. I tried a couple of different ones when I first started playing, and this one just spoke to me. And there was just something about it. One of the things that I love about the Champion paddle is how the grip is it's kind of a rectangular grip almost. A lot of them, it seems like, especially the PaddleTech paddles these days that everybody seems to be using more and more. They're great paddles, but the grip is really round. And for me, without even looking down with that rectangular grip, I can feel, you know, where the face of the paddle is. I know that when I bring it up, it's going to be flat, you know, right when I bring it up. When I tried a PaddleTech paddle when it was more round, I would bring it up and it would be slightly off kilter. and I wouldn't. And maybe if I played more with it, I would figure out the subtle cues in holding it. But I sometimes think, well, I need big cues. I need a big giant rectangular handle, and so the Champion paddle has been the one that's worked for me for a long time. What about you, Mike?
I am a Coach Mo Sweet Spot paddle owner.
Yeah.
Had it for about 3 years. I started with the Champion paddle from Pickleball, and it was great. But I went over to the wide body, 8.5 inches wide, and it has been fantastic for the dinking. I'll give up a little more power, more of that finesse shot, and stay with that wide body. I have seen a lot of Selkirks making their growth out here in the Northwest. Tony Tolinar carries around more with him whenever he's around to tournaments and social play here in the Portland area, and he does a great job of showing people exactly how do you choose what do you want, what fits your hand, much like you were talking about the rectangular grip, and how does it feel to you?
I haven't played with a Selkirk yet, but I have been seeing more and more of those coming onto the scene. Yeah, I'd like to try one out and just see how it feels. Linda, what about you?
I have to tell you, I love my Pickleball Now PN2000. It's the green paddle. And this paddle, we went to Nationals last year, and this paddle was launched at Nationals, and players were buying this paddle and medaling with it the next day, including Mike, your friend, Steve Pirano.
He loves it. He can't stop talking about how great it is.
Yeah. So I was looking at this, and it was like a sea of green starting at Nationals, and I refereed some matches, and half of the courts were covered with these green paddles. So I said, I've got to buy some paddles and bring them back to Maine, and my husband and I switched right away. It's got a double carbon fiber skin, which I used to play competitive tennis a long time ago, and this has been the only paddle that I've found that plays like a tennis racket, in that the ball stays on the surface longer, so you get more control for that dink and soft game. But then it's got a synthetic polymer honeycomb in internal guts that gives it a lot more pop for the kill shot. And then here's the killer. This has happened to me and a couple of other players. We had tennis elbows because we play so much. And the double carbon fiber skin seems to dampen the vibration, so our tennis elbows healed. And then someone with a shoulder injury too, just healed on it. And then when I tried to go back to my paddle tech, my arm started hurting. So I just think this paddle is terrific. It's a high performance paddle, so it won't last as long if you are crazy into pickleball like I am, but I have found the best paddle that I've played with.
Now, do you make any kind of modifications to it, Linda?
I do put an overgrip on it, and I make it a little larger. The grip is sold at 4 inches, and I like it thicker because I think a wider grip will help with tennis elbow. And then I do add, it is 8 ounces, so I like to play with a 9-ounce paddle, so I add a little bit of weight to mine.
It's funny you mentioned the overgrip, because I do that too. I put the Wilson overgrip on there, the white overgrip. Yep. My thing, I grew up on the Gulf Coast, hot, humid, and playing tennis in the 70s and the 80s, and I mean decades, not degrees. But playing when it was hot and humid, I just got used to having that overgrip on there because it would absorb moisture, and it just gave a little bit of tackiness to the tennis racket handle. And then, so to me, nothing feels like a racket handle unless it's got the overgrip on it now. And so I always just put it on, whether I really needed it or not. But it does help absorb moisture, from your hand, even playing pickleball. Not like you're hot and humid playing tennis, but still does a good job.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm the same way, Chris. I grew up in Hawaii as a kid growing up playing tennis. I used the same blue tennis grip to make sure that I got that same feel no matter how hot it was. And it seems to work very well, preventing any kind of tennis elbow or any other issues I had like that. So I agree.
Yeah, I love the overgrip. You have to cut a little bit off just because, the pickleball handle is not, or the grip isn't as long as a normal tennis racket. So you get a little bit more than you need. But otherwise, you wrap it, you tape it, you're good to go. Carol, What about you?
I haven't made any modifications to mine, but I do have to tell you a funny story. When we first started, 4 of the wood diller paddles came with our set, and I had no idea there was even other pickleball paddles out there. So I was visiting my sister up in Boise and went to go play at Home Court Y up in Boise. And the poor gal looked at my paddles and just shook her head and said, "Oh, please try these better paddles." I mean,
Yeah.
so I had no idea there was composite paddles for, about 6 months when I was playing, because there was nobody else playing pickleball in my area. Yeah, the paddles make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I started playing with one of those wood diller paddles. You think, that'll be fine. For whatever, I think it was $17, and you think, oh, that'll do. But then, boy, that lasted a week or so. And now, what other equipment is a must-have when you hit the pickleball court? Is there anything in terms of something to use on your hands? Anything that you mentioned, tennis elbow, Linda, and that's something that I've been struggling with for the first time, really ever, just for the past few weeks. And so I've bought a couple of the different little straps that you put on your forearm.
Yep.
There's the one, what is it called? The Bandit, the one that's the white plastic.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I don't have it in. Oh, yeah, I do have it right here. It's the, what is it, HG30 or something like that? Let me see. Yeah, the HG80. And I did a kind of a test. I played with one of those one day and one the other. And for me, the HG80 won the battle. The Bandit didn't give quite as much relief as that HG80. Anything that you recommend or you use for tennis elbow?
Well, first of all, when I was at the Villages, I did hear of this new armband made by Tenex. It's TENEX or TENNEX, and it's actually a wristband vibration damper. And players were swearing by that, so I have not tried it, but I just want to pass that along. What I use, and I swear by this, I buy a lot of my stuff from the running store, which is for runners. And they sell compression sleeves, compression calf sleeves. I had shin splints at the time, so I bought these calf sleeves, and they're really tight for my calf. But then when I got tennis elbow, I took those calf sleeves and I put one on my elbow, and I've been wearing it ever since. It's so tight, and it provides a lot of support for my elbow, and I haven't had to wear my brace anymore. So I really recommend that to all of my buddies that have tennis elbow to try these compression calf sleeves. I use the CEP. You can find it on Amazon or go into any running store. And then the other device I use, which is a little unusual, is I bought my own ultrasound machine. They're now very inexpensive. They cost as much as one meal out at a good restaurant now, if you buy it online. And when I go for my physical therapy, I'm really going in to get a massage and ultrasound twice a week. And so now that I have my ultrasound machine, I can ultrasound myself 3 times a day, watching TV versus twice a week. And I recently had a mild quad strain, which was, quad strains take a long time to recuperate from, 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And I got that down to 10 days, back to full function.
Wow.
I love this ultrasound machine, and I love my compression sleeves, and the last thing is kinesio tape. Big into kinesio tape. You can tape up any joint, and you can see how to do it by Googling YouTube, and it's been great for tournaments. So that's my thing.
Good recommendations. You mentioned with Coach Mo's paddle, which I've seen on his website and at pickleballpaddlesplus.com. I know they have it there as well. What do you give up to get the wide body, Mike? Are you giving up some length in the grip?
Yes, the handle is a little bit shorter. I am a person missing my left arm. I was born that way, So I'll never have a two-handed backhand. I'll never need to switch hands. And so a shorter handle for me plays just perfectly for me. Mm-hmm. What I love about the wide body is that the dink is just so much more precise at the net. You're able to control and slow it down a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I really don't mind giving up that overhead smash because lobbing does not traditionally happen as you move up the rankings from 3-5 to 4-0 to 4-5. You see less and less lobbing, mm-hmm. and that's something that is not as much a part of the game as it goes exactly where you want it to go.
Right. Now, do you think the ball spends a tiny bit more time on the paddle because it is wider? Say when you're up at the net and you're dinking, can you roll it off just a little bit more?
I believe so. I believe I am able to just push it a little bit more than my partner can.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, something else that might be a must-have for people, especially people that are just starting out, was actually invented by Carol Amos, and that is the pickleball scorer.
Ooh.
Carol, tell us about that. How did you come up with that idea?
Well, when I first started playing, there's the even and odd, and I thought of Laverne and Shirley. We should all wear an L or a...
Yeah.
So I got tired of trying to remember if I was a 1 or a 2, and you get to laughing so much when you're playing, you forget what your score is, or if you're a 1 or a 2 or an even or odd. So I invented something fashioned a little bit on the lines of a golf scorer to keep track of your strokes. But it just clips to the bottom of your shirt or the bottom of your sleeve, and it keeps track of whether you're even or an odd, or the first server, the second server. And it's been great for beginning players. They just love it.
It has little beads on it. It's almost like a little abacus. Is that right?
It does, and it also has an alphabet bead, an E and an O for even or odd, and then you push a colored bead up to the top if you're even or down to the bottom if you're odd. My twin sister and I really enjoy playing pickleball together, and so we fashioned this up, and we're the pickleball twins.
And is that where do people go if they want to see a picture of it and order it from you?
It's at pickleballtwins.com. So we have a website, and we also have a Facebook page.
And I think you have different colors and different styles, don't you?
We do. We have gender neutral colors, or else we have pastels and primary colors, and it's just a fun thing. And another thing about the paddles I'd like to say too is I just love the way so much for pickleball is made in the USA. I just think that's fabulous and hope that continues. I love made in the USA items.
Yeah, that's a good point. Glad you brought that up. Yes. Tell us about the pickleball scene in Reno. What's that like these days?
Oh, it's growing like crazy. They recently, just last week, they had a meeting to decide whether to organize or not. It's pretty much been groups here and there, but they've decided to organize and form an official club, and I think they have 250 on their email list. So pickleball is just going crazy in Reno. It's just great. And there's all levels of play, and they've got clinics going on every week. It's just growing in Northern Nevada, period. Lots of good play.
Mike, you were going to ask something?
I wanted to ask the group about eye protection. I was playing a couple weeks ago with Enrique Ruiz, who lives up here in the area. And I noticed he started wearing eye protection. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen very many other players go to that yet, and I was wondering if anyone else has been noticing that as well.
Do you mean like goggles?
Goggles, safety glasses, different types of different eyewear to protect yourself for those accidental shots.
I just came back from regionals in Las Vegas, and you see at tournaments, you see more and more people wearing eye protection, and I think it's a great idea, and I think it's will probably be more as time goes on. That's a good point, Mike.
You know what I've been seeing? We also have become more aware of eye protection for our players, and when I went down to the villages this past month, players are using just normal eyeglass frames, plastic frames, and they take out the lenses. So they're just wearing frames that it seems to provide enough for their eyes and then you don't have the problem of the buildup of steam, up of lenses and whatever. But I know Lydia was wearing them. A couple other players are just, I don't know, or maybe it's a fashion statement, but I just find that interesting. It does provide protection for your eyes.
Well, we will see in the future what that holds. But again, if you want to check out the pickleball scorer from our own Carol Amos here, go to pickleballtwins.com. Thank you all today for your equipment recommendations and your thoughts on different equipment. And I think that the equipment, it's fun to play around with, but a lot of times I tell myself, you know what, you really need to focus on fundamentals. You don't need a new paddle, Chris. You just need to, you need a good third shot,
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you again for joining us, and we really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank
you, Chris.
Thanks a bunch.
And I was jotting down everyone's favorite paddle recommendations here in case you wanted a recap at the end. Let's see. Carol Amos likes the ProLite Blaster. Mike Hoxie likes the Coach Mo Sweet Spot, and Linda Einsiedler enjoys the PN 2000. That's PN as in Pickleball Now. Be sure and download your free report. It's called Top 10 Tips from Pickleball's 3 Greatest Coaches. Coach Mo, Deb Harrison, Prem Carno, together on one sheet of paper. Lots of pickleball wisdom for you that'll definitely take your game to the next level. You can get it by going to freepbxclub.com. That's freepbxclub.com. Head over to iTunes also if you get a chance. Leave us one of those 5-star reviews. We sure would appreciate it. My name is Chris Allen. This is the Pickleball Show. And until next week, keep 'em low. The Pickleball Show was brought to you by PBX Club. PBX stands for Pickleball Excellence. Join today and get the latest pickleball tips and strategies, news and opinion. Save money on paddles and other equipment with coupon codes to online pickleball retailers. Get travel discounts to tournaments and a whole lot more. How much does it cost to become a PBX Club member? Well, it's free. Just go to freepbxclub.com. That's freepbxclub.com. There's even a link in the show notes for this episode. freepbxclub.com. PBX Pickleball Excellence. Join the club. It's free.